All right, all right. We're back. The timer is hit 0, so that means that we are up for another week of CPL. We have CPL Royale Phase 2. That's the round robin phase, and we'll be looking at the games from week 4 this time. Joining me this time is Fonger. Thank you, Fonger, for taking up the role and casting last week.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having
Definitely
me.
helpful.
Cheers.
Let's have a quick look at the scores from last week. So now a bit. We've got currently Exit in the lead with 3 points, and we've got SilentStorm following him with 2 points. And then we've got Azhi, Kiko, Baal, earob, and Vermin on 1 point each. Unfortunately, 440 and Zune have not really. I'm not being very active lately, and they. We'll see what happens in phase 3 if that inactivity continues. But regardless, today we have all the games from week 4 except the ones from 440 and Zune. Again, as we have seen the pattern earlier. And this time the map is Vermeer. So with that, and no further ado, let's get into game number 1. Fonger, do you want to watch my stream or do you want to join the game?
Oh, can I join the game? Are you on Europe?
I am on...
Oh, I see. Y2... Oh. What's the password?
The password is the same as the game name.
Thank you. Yes. Marvelous.
Alright. Cool. So, let's get into the game. We've got Escalate in the chat to tell me if I'm doing something wrong. So that is
tough,
great.
Man. I tried the one. I tried one first. Ooh, PvP. Nice.
Yeah, it's earob and Azhi. You have dabbled a bit into the PvP world.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
Azhi Dahaki against earob. I don't know. I know that Azhi's made it into low A, I believe, and he might be best described as a low A player. He's also got a lot of BGH experience, so he's got a good grasp of sort of unit control, especially on the sort of the larger scales as well. Whereas I think earob is more of a 1v1 player, and earob I believe is B, mid to high B. Not sure.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think earob is floating around 1900 and Azhi is around 2000. So
yeah, okay.
Purely MMR speaking, yeah, Azhi has a bit of the uppercut, but it's PvP. It's a bit wild, and it's if there is one matchup where as a Protoss where you can take someone stronger than you, it is your mirror.
Yeah. Oh, actually, there's one bit of important knowledge that I think I can bring to this game. I have heard Azhi on stream before saying that he just doesn't use Reavers. And he was describing it, I think, possibly as something that he was intending to work on. But I don't know that he's done that yet, or if he's intended to. So I'm wondering if his game plan will be based more around the sort of Mass Dragoon, Zealot, and maybe some High Templars sort of thing. Whereas perhaps earob is more comfortable using the Reavers. So it might be interesting to see if they go for those sorts of matching up those sorts of styles.
Yeah, that is very interesting. So Azhi is a bit like Quark, because Quark never uses Reavers in PvP. We already see a build deviation though. It's 2 gate for Azhi versus standard gate gas from earob. And especially on maps like Vermeer, like large 4-player maps, normally when you do 2 gate, or at least the type of 2 gate that Azhi is going for, you cross spawn, you cross scout with your initial scout, and we see that he's not doing that.
It's interesting that earob actually chose to make a second pylon before the core as well. I'm guessing that's just because he wants to make a couple of zealots before the goons.
So he did, yeah. He's doing a really safe build. So he normally, if Azhi was opening with gas and gate himself, earob would be slightly behind. But he's doing the zealot core zealot build, which is essentially a perfect counter to what Azhi is doing, even if they were not in cross positions. But equally, if your opponent was playing standard, you are slightly behind economically because you do cut some probes in order to get that. For example, see his next currently not spinning, and your gas is a bit later than normally.
Okay, so those first three
counting
zealots
the 2 gate and the 3 zealots and reacting, like putting up even a probe there, just to show how much he respects the 2 gate from Azhi.
faster robo from earob here. I wonder if we'll see the robo or the citadel first from Azhi, or if the Azhi will actually go straight to the... Oh, wow! That was nice.
Yeah, Azhi was doing a really good job with his zealots to make sure that all 3 were attacking. More importantly, even when the zealots were fighting on the ramp, he saw the robo, so Azhi already knows what earob's choice of tech would be for this game. But another important thing is, while this whole thing was happening and when the zealots were out on the map, earob's managed to sneak in a manor pylon in Azhi's main. He's currently hiding the probe. I don't know if Azhi is aware that earob is hiding a probe in his base.
He was concentrating on the fight, he doesn't know it's there.
Yeah, and earob should be, in 10 seconds or so, should be scouting the main base of Azhi just to confirm the tech.
Yeah, and the scout there is really nice as well, because earob's been able to go straight for the support bay instead of having to bother with observers.
Yeah, I think this is because he saw the range spinning for such a long time. So he has discounted DTs as a possibility.
Right, yeah.
And he is scouting right now, but I feel like he could have delayed the scout even further with his manor pylon and with all the information he got from that. Just to confirm whether his opponent was going robo or was going like gateway man and trying to get a lot of goons to pressure. But as I say that, before earob's probe died, Azhi threw down the robo, so he does not really have any intention of hiding his tech currently.
Oh, yeah. And earob's just going to use this early Reaver to protect his expansion. And that's why, presumably, he didn't make the shuttle first.
He scouted the goon count and decided that he can defend a Nexus. Interestingly enough, though, Azhi is throwing down the Nexus himself with very little information. So it is a bit more of a gamble play by Azhi, and he's still adding the observatory, even though he scouted the robo facility.
Perhaps he's potentially a little concerned about some sort of DT drop if he missed the Citadel or Archives.
Yeah, you could do that, but given that there's cross-spawn and that he scouted the robo facility, he should know that earob does not have gas or cannot possibly have had gas to build the Citadel and Templar Archives and DTs in time. So a delayed DT drop with Citadel is possible, but it's around 7:30 to 8 minutes, the earliest that when it can hit.
Okay. It's interesting that it looks like earob has cut a fair few more probes. Well, has cut a fair few probes compared to Azhi in his build. Perhaps he's been sort of really trying to hit certain timings to get the tech out. So Azhi with a bit of a probe advantage.
Yeah, and as I was saying earlier, he did a bit, in my experience at least, overreact a bit to the pressure of Azhi and was cutting probes and pulled that early probe in the led it to the ramp, and I think lost also a single probe. And that is basically what you see accumulated now in that 6 probe difference.
Yeah, and quite a few more goons for Azhi still than earob. But earob does have this shuttle with the goon and reaver moving out that might get some nice scarabs off on Azhi's natural. This pylon at the top of Azhi's natural, is that going to block a scarab from behind that spot?
That is not gonna block Scarab. Well, depends. Like, Scarabs are really stupid, so it might, but the Scarab can still go and harass it if it goes over the pylon.
Okay.
We are now about to see that. Nope, no, he drops it directly into the probe line.
Ooh, so close. Oh, he doesn't quite make it. That would
Yeah,
have been
unfortunately,
delicious.
the Scarab is a dud, but at the same time, Azhi is also massing.
Oh no!
Oh my god!
How many was that? Like 7. And he's attacking
No,
earob's
earob
natural
is
though as
not
well.
defending with the reavers. His dragoons are fighting on their own without reaver support, and that is. And he could have easily held that if the reaver was shooting as well, and if the dragoons did not engage on their own. But as it is, it's very dicey.
Oh, these scarabs though from earob are great.
Yeah, he will need to sacrifice some probes as he's currently doing, and try to defend with the reaver that way.
But Azhi's been so good about the probe production that even after losing that massive clump to the reaver, he's still ahead on probes significantly.
Oh my god, yeah, you're right. I thought that was Azhi that was on 27.
Yeah, he's definitely got that. Lana would call it that fastest player macro, although it's like BGH player macro, isn't it?
Yeah, wow. It's just still, earob loses his natural, but has some very good reaver shots and also has shuttle speed. So as the shuttle speed player versus no reavers, you always have a potential to come back. But it's gonna be really difficult for earob right now.
And Azhi was keeping a couple of goons in his main just to keep an eye out for another drop, but it looks like he's going to join up the rest of his army now. Not sure if Azhi's base layout is ideal for his goons trying to get out of the base here.
It is not the worst currently, but a reaver can definitely exploit that area that is very, very hardly accessible by goons. If you put 2 reavers over these over the observatory and the pylons, the dragoons will funnel to that small choke, and you will kill.
Oh yeah,
so many dragoons.
Oh, nearly sniping the shuttle. Oh, he's gonna lose it.
He will snipe it.
Juicy scarab, but no, just the one. It's interesting, as he's committing so heavily to goons, but he's not actually going to upgrade anything in terms of a forge. Is it just it's not a priority at the moment?
So ground attacks are definitely helpful in PvP, but most of the time what decides a battle is the arc. So the upgrades are good, but they're just not as important. It's not TVT where when you as soon as you get +2, you start to two-shot your opponent.
Yeah.
So upgrades definitely play a role, but much later on into the game for PvP.
Wonder if earob's feeling pressured to go out and try and get a third at this stage. Doing a great job of sniping Azhi's observers.
He lost 2 shuttles with I think 4 reavers already. So he's definitely feeling the pressure to do something which is also why we saw that earlier suicide attempt.
Speaking of arcs, look at this one.
Yeah,
oh,
but
wow.
earob has the reverse, and that is... Ooh, not
Who needs
anymore.
Reavers, man? Who needs Reavers? I guess the thing with Reavers is they're massively powerful, but when they go wrong and you lose them, they are vulnerable to getting sniped off, aren't they?
Yeah, and when your opponent has such a goon advantage, two reavers are not enough. If you're the reaver player, you need to play someone defensive. And I have seen cases where people would start putting like having a shuttle with two reavers and then one reaver at their natural and one reaver at their third, just so they can get three reavers in a defensive position as soon as their opponent tries to attack. So at some point, two reavers is just not enough.
Yeah. Oh well, we got the answer to the question of how the matchup would go between Reaver versus no Reaver, and it looks like Ashy just makes so many goons. That's very nice. He just absorbed the damage, really, didn't he? He absorbed the damage that he took from the harass, and he just stayed really consistent on his game plan and his production.
Yeah, he was forcing a bit of overreactions from earob, but more importantly, he managed to press on the advantage when he had it, which just snowballed into that really nice game that we saw.
Yeah.
All right, game number 2 starting right now.
Is there a Terran? Is there a Terran? There's a Terran! Oh, I like this. Kiko, my EU Terran hero. The Iron Wall.
Yeah, he's spawning in the bottom right.
And bottom left, Azhi Dahaki from last game, you may remember. And probably not going to use Reavers, the blue Protoss.
Does he not use the reavers at all, or does he not use the reavers in PvP?
I've heard that he just doesn't generally use Reavers. I mean, I think if one doesn't generally use Reavers in PvT, you're probably more likely to use them in PvP, perhaps, because they're more of a critical unit there, right? Whereas versus Terran, you might get away with different compositions.
True, but
I don't think he used them at all.
Reavers in PvT, up until recently, that they're now getting a resurgence of what exactly the Reaver roles should be in PvP.
Oh,
but
I see. Yeah.
Up until very recently, the Reavers were like a situational thing that you might use in the early to mid game, and then you basically don't have to worry about it after. But right now, with these speed shuttle strategies, and we're seeing more Reaver usage throughout the whole game.
Yeah, and even in the mid game, you can't move anywhere as a Terran without running into like 3 scarabs in your face when you're trying to go up a ramp.
Yeah, they do a great job of slowing down the Terran, but it's such a tasking strategy for Protoss to execute and for Terran to counteract. It's a much more dynamic version of PvT compared to what we're used to.
Yeah.
I heard somewhere that it was the top Korean meta right now for PvT for both the Protoss and the Terran was to attack as soon as you're able to attack rather than waiting to mass up, because consistent attacking and skirmishing your opponent is actually what is considered now the more optimal way of playing the game for both sides.
So what attacking all the time? Because that sounds suspiciously similar to the meta that I invent.
Yeah, that is attacking all the time, but with factory units.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh. Okay. So Probe Scout's not going to find Kiko, but the Zealot Scout's going to go straight to his base. It's a fairly early.
He went for a very smart scouting pattern, so he scouted cross initially, and if he had found Kiko was cross, he would cancel the Zealot and just be a few seconds behind. But since he knows the Zeld is Kiko has spawned somewhere in a close position, he knows that the Zeld has better chance of doing some damage.
Yeah. Maybe, I guess there are too many Marines out now. I thought for a moment he might have had a window to slow down the factory, but Kiko doing a good job controlling those Marines.
Ooh. 2 Marines
well,
down,
most of
though.
those Marines. I wonder if he needs to take a couple of probes, or SCVs off, and maybe not.
If I was in Azhi's position, I would have not committed to a single Zeld versus 3 Marines, but he managed to do a lot more damage than I anticipated.
He's cut a lot of Kiko's options now in terms of the early game, hasn't he? Because he's killed 2 Marines and damaged 2 more. So those 2 damaged Marines are only going to survive 3 goon shots instead of 4.
Well, that is true, but as soon as the bunker is up, whether your Marine has 1 hit point or 40, it barely matters.
True. Interesting that Kiko not going to bother with the... Oh, no, he's made the Vulture.
Yeah, the Vulture's already out on the map. It was intercepted by Azhi, and he will keep his 2nd Dragoon at home.
I hope that Goon seeing the CC was worth it for losing it. Important information, I guess. Kiko making mines before a tank.
Kiko also going up to 5 Marines.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm not sure what the purpose of that 5th Marine is, and even the 4th, but...
I wonder if he's just going to leave it out there scouting for a 3rd base probe up the top left side of the map. Top left, middle left.
I have seen that sometimes.
Sort of like you do with a fire bat in TVZ, maybe. So this Robo is just going to make observers and maybe some shuttles. It's not making any Reavers. I haven't seen this replay, but I'm calling it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest. It's, as I say, it's very new and very hard to execute that strategy. Oof, Azhi though, eating some mines with his both of his Dragoons. Oh my god.
Beautiful. Imagine if Kiko hadn't lost those Marines early on, because it's right now you could be pushing out with 5 Marines and a Vulture or 2.
Yeah, I mean, right now with these 5 Marines and the two Vultures and a tank, he will definitely roll Azhi.
And actually still, he's going... Oh no, he's got 3 gates up. Okay, yeah, it looks okay. But where's Azhi going to take his 3rd base? Because he's going to have to clear out these mines if he wants to take it there. And it looks like Kiko's keeping an eye on the other options for a 3rd base as well.
Interesting pylon positioning at the natural.
Oh yeah. Very aesthetically pleasing. Perfectly equidistant between the eggs.
Nice, true, but then it's making it a bit harder to block Vultures later on.
Oh, I see, because you can't make a perfect wall.
Yeah, or you could if you add the Citadel or something between the pylon and the egg.
Oh yeah, yeah. So Kiko's got +1 on the way already. He's a decent way into it. Looks like that's the strategy he's going for. He actually went armory and +1 before the 2nd factory, which is nice. And he's made no eBay at this stage. He's just going to rely on Goliaths, presumably, for the anti-air. But perhaps he knows that Azhi doesn't make Reavers too.
Yeah, and as his first observer is out, but he's not heading to Kiko's base.
Ooh, so close, so close.
Almost snipes that probe.
Kiko thinking there's some lag there or something. Oh, it was a miss! The 1 in 256 chance!
Oh, wow.
I love that. I saw a Sunken do that the other day. I don't think it can happen to Scarabs, can it? Because they dud enough on their own.
Yeah, I mean, it's because Scarabs, if they connect, they connect.
Yeah. Now, I'm wondering if Kiko's going to go for the 3rd, or because he's definitely going for the pass +2 timing, because he's got really nice, close to finishing the +1 already, and getting the science facility up. But I wonder if he'll mass up off the 2 bases, because since it's close spawns, I've seen Royal do a build where he does 2 base 7 factory all in with very fast +2, and he moves out about 150 supply. So I mean, he could do that, although there is this big sort of ramp in the way.
Azhi wants to take a 4 base as well, but really needs to cancel one of these pylons.
Because of the vulture. Oh, yeah. So what's Azhi's late game going to be? He's getting his Forge up, so he's going to start upgrading the attack, presumably. Still only on 3 gates, which is quite interesting. He must have a read on what Kiko's doing, so he knows he's not getting full factoried.
Given the base pattern that he's taking, yeah, where his 4 base is currently, I think it's either going to be very heavy gateway man into trying to with a strategy of not letting your opponent take their 3rd and 4th bases, or it's going to be carriers. And since I don't see +1 spinning, I think it's going to be gateway man.
Yeah. Well, he's not going to stop Kiko from taking his 3rd. Kiko's getting that bunker up already.
Yeah, the 3rd on this map is really hard to stop. If he was planning to contest that, he should have had, I don't know, his gateway explosion about 1.5 to 2 minutes ago.
Okay, yeah. He's made a gateway at his 3rd, as he has, presumably for Templars. High Templars to protect it.
It could be for Templars, or it could be just for the SimCity.
Oh yeah, nice. It does look like he's gearing up to, or has been gearing up to fight a sort of a 2-base mass. Maybe not. I don't know. I like the SimCity anyway.
He is. Yeah, his current 5th base is a bit harder to defend because he's too spread out on the map. He needs Dragoons everywhere to defend all of his bases and to secure his probe transfers, which is also why, yeah, see, currently 1 Vulture is just having a field day with these probes that are transferring to the 4th base. So I'm not sure about this 5th base timing and position given what his 4th choice was.
Kiko's +2, not far off finishing. He's got 7 factories up. He'll be 130, 120 supply maybe by the time +2 finishes.
Yeah, in about 11:30 he should have the +1, or the 2-1 finished. And that's when he'll be very strong.
Only 8 tanks at the moment though. So not a huge count there.
As he adding his gateways right now, but is it too late? Going up to 8 gateways.
Got a Stargate on the way.
I'm not completely sure about that Stargate because the Temple Archives was done a while ago and the Stargate is only now being done. So it feels that going for Storm would have been better given the timing of all of his buildings, but he is putting down the Arbiter Tribunal right now.
Sort of more of a kind of a may as well have a couple of Arbiters out with the army sort of thing, rather than a sort of a dedicated Quark style timing.
Yeah, but the real story is Kiko already has his 2-1 and a lot of factories. I'm not sure about the SimCity of these factories, but
it would be a bit tricky to macro out of those, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
It looks like Kiko has eventually now built that eBay, so he's going to have a few turrets around ready for any kind of Arbiter sneak buys.
Yeah, Kiko here giving us a masterclass on why this 5th base positioning doesn't make sense given the fort base. He's showing us what Terran can do to abuse the fact that you're trying to take these two bases so far apart.
Very nice. Yeah. What's the 5th base location you would have gone for there?
So, given his current forts, the 5th base that have gone would either be the low ground on that main or where his probe currently is with the floating barracks. Because
right, yeah.
that expansion style that he went for with these four bases is signaling to the Terran that you want to be very aggressive and you want to max units. So even if you take one of your bases close to the Terran, which is where the probe and the barracks are currently, the Terran will have a hard time to push into that because you will just try to out macro him and contest all the time. And by the time they manage to push in, because eventually the Terran upgrades will just overwhelm you, but by the time they push in, you will already have gathered like 1,000 minerals from each of these patches, and you don't really care if you lose the base.
Right, yeah. Speaking of Terran upgrades, we're almost at 3-2, which is really quick in my view.
Another option for his expansion pattern would have been to go for as a fort base to take a second main, and that way he could have had a small goon army near his natural and another one near his main base. And right now I'm not entirely sure why he's pushing into that second main, because he doesn't really have any units anymore there, and that is a very cost inefficient trade for him.
He just wants him gone.
Yeah, he has that one probe that can remake the base, but at that point I don't know if it was really worth it to try and push for that.
But look at the bank on Azhi now. He can start taking all of the bases, really, can't he? But he is going to have to deal with a 200-3-2 push soon.
Yeah, and I don't see his arbiters. He has one on the map currently, and that doesn't even have energy for stasis.
Recall just about to finish, I think. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that EMP
nice.
hit! That EMP was so far away from the Arbiter. How did the Arbiter get?
So that'll delay the whole recall idea. Kiko got a little bit of recall defense in his main anyway. He's done a good job of turreting and mining up.
Oh, Kiko will pick off these three defending the Dragoons, but... some reinforcement Dragoons come in and save the day.
As he's starting to do that gateway explosion on the other side of the map now.
Seems like Azhi will be going for a recall eventually. But he's adding... Why? Oh, he doesn't have a fleet beacon. He's currently upgrading air armor, something that you don't really see that often.
He's just got the money, hasn't he?
Yeah, I am confused if he has all the money, why he's just not adding a fleet beacon and +2 air, because that would be more useful, or a second cybernetics if he really wants to upgrade the armor.
Yeah, I guess he doesn't have quite as much information on the map as he'd like to, because he does have a couple of observers in strategic spots, but other than that, he's not got a huge amount of information. I'm wondering if that's why he's sticking around on his side of the map and not expanding as aggressively as we might expect.
Kiko currently has a lot of map control with his vultures out on the map and the mines everywhere.
Yeah. Wonder if Azhi actually needs more observers with... Oh, he's got a group of observers and goons now going out to sweep some mines. Kiko's not feeling under any pressure to... As I say that, he unsieges. I wonder if this is it. Kiko's got the bank to start really massing up reinforcements as well.
Ooh. We've got 4 Stargates at the 4th base and the fleet beacon there. So it seems like Azhi will try to trade some of his army with Kiko's and then will transition into carriers after that.
Nice. I love placing them there. I wouldn't have expected them to fit in that base, to be honest. But it's not likely for a Terran to scan there looking for tech, is it?
It's not very likely, and also as a Terran player, I think this is sort of a rule with Terrans. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but you have already scouted the arbiters and the arbiter tech, and what you do as a Terran right now is you kind of use all your scans to keep tabs on where the Protoss army is rather than scanning their main base again to see if they're transitioning into carriers.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what
loses
I
one of the arbiters though.
And we haven't seen a recall go down. Oh, we have, haven't we? It was right there. At the middle right, but it seems to have been cleaned up without much damage at all.
Oh yeah, there were a few units there. I missed that.
So many turrets there to knock it out.
Well, regardless, it's a good play by Azhi because with his current army, he managed to pull away all of Kiko's forces that were right at his rally point. So he is able to sneak some army out on the map again. And he's building 3 carriers. I would have liked to see him building 4 carriers at a time. But he's playing what he's got right now.
Yeah, so Kiko on a bit of a short timer now on getting things done. He's going to take. I like him taking this base here. I think he can easily block up Protos's main choke, although Protoss still has about 6-7 gates at the top left.
Yeah, Protoss at that point wouldn't really mind losing that army or losing that position at his main base, but the other thing is he currently has a lot of probes that should have been evacuated earlier. And it seems like Azhi is going for a counterattack again, trying to just pull Kiko's army apart and put him on a timer with these carriers. But he's not building any more carriers. Only now is he adding an additional one, but he has the supply.
Oh, he is going to really hurt this base on the right here.
Yeah, that is a very good attack. Kiko just not respecting Azhi's position there, and will pay for that with having to lift out the base, and then Azhi will get denied mining.
And yeah, Kiko, I guess Azhi can afford to lose his main base, as you're saying, he can afford to lose that natural position, but Kiko can't really afford to lose his own because...
Yeah, he really needs to... the gateway units from the rally point were just trying to get to their rally without attacking. It was a bit sad to see. But Azhi has the option currently to snipe the natural expansion, but will not do so, unfortunately. A very common strategy when you are in such a position as Protoss is to go around and snipe the comsat stations, or at least the CCs that have comsat stations, and then produce DTs out of your gateways.
Yeah. These carriers on the tanks, it's so tempting to let the tanks do their work and just destroy the base, but I don't think Kiko's getting enough value out of killing this base.
Well, the thing is, it's 4 carriers, and even if he decided to try and
run away,
he wouldn't really get very far, so he might as well. He's killing a lot of gateways. And the DTs, as I said, are here. It's just that Azhi failed to snipe all the comsat stations.
Kiko's starting to establish his middle right base again. I think he's making some moves to the top right to clear that probe out, but I think he really needs to find a way to take some bases up the top right as well, because I don't think with the 4 bases that he's got, he's going to be able to pump enough Goliaths
The
to
current
fight carriers.
issue is, though, we're up to 8 carriers for Azhi, but the one thing that Kiko currently has going for him is he managed to snipe the Cybercore that was working on the +2 attack.
Oh, nice.
So Goliaths will be able to fight well against these carriers, but not for long, and Kiko is losing bases left and right. So Kiko is currently on a timer, trying to sneak a new base in the second main. But yeah, see, just a control group of 3/3 Goliaths are chasing away all these carriers.
Yeah, just because they can almost one-shot a carrier, can't they? Probably a couple of salvos and the carrier will just go down.
I think it's 2 volleys from them, but they have
volleys,
good attack speed, so... Yeah, 2 volleys should take it down. Oh,
So-
2 carriers going down already.
That's nice. But he needs to find a way to kill off top left, or really, doesn't he? Because that's Azhi's one base that's got plenty of minerals at it. And Azhi's bank has gone down a fair bit though, because he's had to spend on all these carriers, the interceptors.
One more carrier going down. Azhi only up to 5 carriers at the moment. And these Goliaths will really hurt. Oh, one of the carriers is so low. 66 HP on one of these carriers.
Kiko's bank is getting kinda uncomfortably low at this stage. I think he needs to make sure that those top right bases are mining pretty quickly,
15
I think.
HP on that carrier.
Oh wow, yeah. One shot. Yeah, there we go, he found it.
Did you know that the Goliaths, actually, if they don't go out of attack range, if you move command with them and then click hold position, they will keep retargeting that same carrier that they were attacking.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, they tanks work the same way as well. So see that little cannon on top of the tank?
Yeah.
It basically locks on a target, and as long as the target is within range, you can move command it, and if you keep pressing hold position, it will attack that same thing because the cannon is still locked on that target.
Wow, I had no idea. I love it. Nice.
Yeah, it
But
works
that's why
like that
hold
only for
position
Terran though.
Yeah.
So if you need more arguments for Tisagi.
These DTs from Azhi doing some work down here. Oh, he's having to waste so many scans. Yeah, that DT got his worth. 6 kills, 7 kills on that DT.
Yeah, the carriers count is starting to dwindle, but he's doing a good job replacing it. We were down to 3 carriers and 4 more now on the way.
Yeah, if Azhi keeps relying on the carriers mainly, and Kiko's able to stop Azhi from getting any new bases, then I think Kiko's production, if he gets the top right bases online, is just going to be too much. The Goliaths will be too much for the carriers.
I think with the current 9 o'clock that... no, that's 3 o'clock that Kiko has secured, he needs really only 1 more base, and he will be able to overwhelm Azhi and kill all the interceptors.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter which base it is. There's enough minerals left in that 3 o'clock.
But Azhi's doing a good job of keeping a bit of a mix of ground army and carriers here, I think, which is nice. Kiko massing up the tanks again, though. That's pretty good. 7 tanks. It's enough to deal with the goons, at least.
Oh yeah, the ground army is gonna melt, and the carriers will, the Goliaths will do their thing to the carriers. Currently we have 2 carriers that are extremely low.
No more Goliaths for Kiko. He's only got stuff built.
We are out of Goliaths, but the thing is, we have enough minerals, but we are not really mining gas.
Right.
For Kiko, and we can make any Goliaths. So I think Azhi just barely is gonna have enough to deal with this and manage to snipe Kiko's bases. What a game.
Yeah, he's only got the two SCVs mining at his natural gas. I wonder if that's been going on for long. Maybe it was just during one of the early battles that they got pulled off. Have we got +2 for Azhi's carriers yet? I've lost the carriers. Did I lose the carriers?
We have
Yeah.
+2.
Nice.
Azhi finding that second main base.
Kiko's properly fortifying his middle right base now. Lots and lots of turrets there. Interesting that the Comsat station seems to throw off mining at the middle right base, gas mining so much.
Yeah, but also I think we also have 2 SCVs mining gas.
Oh, it's 2 there as well, is it? Yeah. Oh yeah, I see.
Yeah, it's only 2 mining gas.
Yeah, so same problem at the middle right and at the natural. Yeah, I think it must have been going on for a long time at the natural, because there's still 100 odd gas left at the natural, but the depleted gas at the third for
Yeah, I
Kiko.
think he either from the very beginning started mining with 2, or just sent one of the SCVs that mining gas at some point to build something.
Okay, yeah. Interestingly though, Kiko's now lower on minerals than he is on gas, so he's just overall hurting for economy now. And he's sent some SCVs to top right to try and secure that base now that he's got the army posturing towards Azhi's top left.
Yeah, well, he added like 7 or 8 turrets at that 3 o'clock position. So that was a big mineral sink for him.
True, yeah.
And
these storms are gonna hurt.
Microed a few vulture rounds just because he had the minerals.
Yeah.
We have a Goliath army though, but no other ground units to support it.
Couple of tanks coming out now, but so low on money now. Just 1 base mining.
But with the army that we currently have from Azhi, if we can get up to like 20 or 30 Goliaths, without any tank support, even they should be able to take out the whole army.
Perhaps except for the High Templars, because the storm will really hurt that kind of approach, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah. I think I saw some science vessels of him at some point as well.
Oh yeah. EMP on the High Templars would be nice. I've seen some I think DeWalt especially. I've noticed that he brings his High Templars into battle in a shuttle just to avoid the EMP, and presumably avoid being sniped by vultures and tanks.
Yeah, and also High Templars are really slow and make the whole army lag behind.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Good point. They're slow. In fact, that when they move, you can see half their body wanting to stay behind.
Yep. They just have a weird contract with time and space.
Yeah. Oh look, actually, just started making 3 arbiters. I like that, mixing that in. That's going to make it painful, especially with a low command center count, because the Terran now is, as he's doing with his 3rd, he's floating it to a 4th. He's gonna be low on scan energy. And he doesn't want to spend gas on vessels when he needs it for Goliaths.
Yeah, he has been adding Archons just because he had so much gas, but I agree the Arbiters are a more sensible way of sinking our gas. Also, another thing that I can add to my Desagi trivia today is... did you know that when Comsat stations do not have a command center attached to it, they still produce energy?
Yes, but the only reason I know that is because of that famous Boxer scam where he did where he did that on Destination, or no, Peaks of Baekdu or whatever, where he he lifted off his command center to make a new one. Oh, hang on, no! That was just to get a faster second scan. I didn't realise it recharged. That is
Yeah,
Dahaki.
the
Okay, yeah,
replay.
that's enough to tip the balance. Terran is in
Yep,
fact
that's it.
imbalanced.
New patch, just make comsat stations with the CC detached, no regen energy. That solves the whole all the problems.
Yeah, yeah.
No one will complain.
Okay, so we got a nice-sized army from Kiko, along with a science vessel, which is really important, I guess.
Yeah, but he really need to use that army to secure one of these command centers and some more income. Because Azhi, they were really close at some point, and the game could have gone either way. But right now, Azhi has 200 supply, and a lot of bases.
Yeah, yeah. Aji's finally sort of confident now to start sort of expanding on mass, isn't he?
Yeah, the game was really close, and it really looked like Kiku was taking it at some point. But Azhi managed to come back and has really solidified his lead. At this point, it's almost impossible for Azhi to lose because he's patrolling all the time, making sure that there are no more new bases being taken.
And it looks like Aji's happy with his carrier count as well. He's got what 5 or 6 carriers left, but he's not committing to them properly now, which I guess actually is quite nice because it means that he's not vulnerable to some kind of crazy wraith switch or something like that, you know?
Yeah, at some point, when you force the Terran to make Goliaths and that their army is mostly Goliaths, it's very wise to just go back and mass a ground army.
Oh, the stasis is.
Yeah, with so many Goliaths currently out of the game, the 6 carriers are going to be plenty.
Yeah. This looks like one of Bonus' game because Bonus does this, doesn't he? With the sort of basically, I might be confusing it with Quark, but the attack move with the carriers plus the big army into the Terran. Oh. Oh dear. Hiko doesn't agree with your Tasagi statements, I don't think.
Well, maybe he doesn't know that comsat stations regen when they don't have a CC attached.
Oh yeah, good point. Yeah. We'll
If
have
he
to-
was aware of that fact, he'll definitely say that the game is perfectly balanced.
yeah, yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna take a quick 2-minute break and then I'll be back.
Cool.
Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back.
So let's update the scores while we're at it. So we have Azhi versus earob today as our
And
first
Azhi
game.
won that, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now he also won versus Kiko. So we have Azhi up to 3 points. So tying the current leader exit in the phase 2 score.
Nice.
And let's see what the next game would be. So after today, we should have a good idea on the standings and sort of have a be able to predict who might make it into the round of the grand finals to get the full seed.
Yeah, I think my money's on Exit getting one of the spots.
Yeah, but do you think he'll be the winner of the round robin, or do you think that Exit will be will qualify via the third phase?
I don't know the structure of the next phase.
So the current phase 2, which is the round robin bit, the player with the highest score at the end of this gets a direct seat to the grand finals.
Okay.
And then
yeah.
all the other players, so all 8 players remaining, will go through a sort of like an eight player bracket stage tournament that will happen in one of these weekends, and then the winner of that is the second seed to the grand finals.
I see. Oh, I like that. Nice. I like that structure. Yes, I would say it's close, but I would predict Exit winning the round robin and getting the direct seed.
Yeah, so I think you might be right on that, because I think currently Exit and Azhi are I think they are the favorites, and their score might be very close if not tied. And if it is tied, they will just be the tiebreaker will be whenever they met. There is a result for that match.
Yeah.
Next game is up, by the way.
Thank you. What do? Right, cool.
And with that, we're not gonna see neither Azhi or Exit. We're gonna see two different players. This time.
Nice. I shared a CPL team with Baal here.
Oh yeah? What team was that?
Cattle Bruisers. We did some practice together. He's strong. He gets some really surprising results sometimes as well against players that are sort of nominally better than him or higher MMR.
Yeah, that is CPL 9 you were talking about.
Yes, because if I understand Escalade correctly, we haven't had CPL 10 yet.
I don't know. He's tough now. He should be able to just jumpstart CPL 10 on his own.
Okay, Vermin.
I don't know what's taking him so long, to be honest.
Bottom right, Baal, Teal, Protoss against the First Law or SilentStorm in the top right. I think SilentStorm is he living in Australia? Am I right in thinking that? I might be mixing him up with someone else.
I'm not sure, if I have to be honest. I think at least time zone wise, it's correct. Let me.
Yeah. I'm just checking checking his profile actually in the thingy.
Yeah, in the web app there should be.
Web app, of course, yes. He was from the Southeast Asian Laggers team.
Yeah, so he was definitely in that time zone. And does he have a country associated with his profile? maybe he hasn't picked any.
Okay, there is no country picked for SilentStorm. Haha! So he's somewhere in the Pacific, basically.
Yeah, so could be Australia, could be Korea.
New Zealand.
Or New Zealand.
Looks like a fairly standard opener from both so far.
Yeah, I wonder though if Bill was... I think that he may have thought that he spawned top right instead of bot right. By his gateway position.
Yeah.
It happens sometimes. It's a bit unfortunate. But...
Either that or he has had some very bad experiences with vulture drops on this spot before, and he's just starting up his SimCity early.
Could be.
So only one on gas for SilentStorm, so he's going, oh, I've lost my resources panel.
That is E, I believe. If you click E, it should appear.
Thank you. Got it back, thank you. Okay. Baal is going straight for the Nexus, isn't he? Off of the one goon, 21 Nexus.
Yeah, and Azhi, SilentStorm is going for a factory expand here.
SilentStorm hasn't lifted his racks yet, so he may still make a couple of extra Marines to support his push, his eventual push.
He confirmed the Nexus with his SCV, if I'm not mistaken, and still started the bunker. I think that if you know that your opponent is rushing Nexus so early, you can skip the bunker in favor of a slightly faster command center.
There is that, but he also delayed his tank a little bit, so I'm wondering... Oh, I guess the bunker delayed the tank a bit.
Yeah. So you can have a lot more smooth build if you didn't build the bunker there. But
what would you have done though against that one zealot and that one goon arriving at your natural before the tanks there? Because then you're gonna have trouble then, aren't you?
Well, yeah, but you had the scouting SCV. You confirmed that he was going for a Nexus without building any follow-up goons, and your SCV was in front of their natural, so you would have been able to see whether they're moving out or not.
Okay.
And if you just don't build the bunker and start your tank or your vulture slightly faster, that should be in time to defend, and 3 Marines and a tank can definitely deal with 1 goon, 1 zealot.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. So go straight into mines for SilentStorm and getting the eBay. No other buildings building yet for him. Oh, he is going for a bit of a push. So he has gone up to 4 Marines. I think Baal's got enough goons to hold this. He's making a pylon there, perhaps in case he needs to add a shield battery, or just as a kind of a decoy pylon.
Yeah, that pylon is not bad, but if it was a bit more forward, it would be better.
I'm looking at Baal's gateway positioning, and it's costing him about 10 seconds to walk his goons all the way up from the bottom of his base.
That might...
Oh no!
That was a very critical mine connection there.
Nice. Oh, he might eat another one. Especially if he's distracted. No, he's got enough goons to snipe it now, hasn't he?
Well, depends if the goons are moving, they will eat it.
Oh, he could still very well eat that one, I reckon. Has he got a robot? He's got a robot on the way, and he's got an observatory halfway done. Going up 2 factories from actually 2 factories from SilentStorm and an armory. So he's going for the long game.
Oh, denied the probe right before he was able to close off that wall near the 3rd base.
Nice. Observer just started for Baal, so I mean he's not going to lose the bottom Nexus, is he? But he'll take a fair bit of damage on it. Oh, and look at this! SilentStorm going to send a tank all the way down because he's got the mines in position to secure against goons coming for him. So he might even be able to snipe this Nexus off. And I guess he's hoping that the Nexus finishes at low HP just before his tank gets there, so that he doesn't cancel it. And we're still just 2 gates for Baal at the moment.
Oof, that will
And straight
be
into Stargate.
close. I'm not sure if the single tank would do it, but if it was 2 tanks, definitely. Oh,
Yeah.
what is the tank doing though? It's
I
focusing
think
the
he's
pylon.
just there to sort of fend off goons, isn't he? He's not going to target it because he's just going to defend the Marine while it finishes
Yeah, but
off
that's
the next.
300 damage that the tank could have added to the
Yeah.
Nexus, which would have been a dead Nexus by now. Oh
He'll
no,
still
now
kill
he's
it, won't he,
focusing it, but
really?
not retargeting on the goons.
Whoop. That's a nice snipe, though. Really nice snipe. I love that. And without committing too much as well. Just the right number of units to take it out. And now going up for a 3rd base and up to 4 factories. Cool.
What is our plan as... I think he could have killed the goons and sniped the Nexus.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Because by the time the Nexus would have been dead by the time the goons got there, presumably.
Yes, and also if he retargeted the Nexus as the goons as soon as they appeared in range, that would have also worked, I feel.
+1 halfway done for SilentStorm. So this isn't. I don't think this is quite as fast as Kiko's +1. But so far it seems to be working out better for him. Yeah, a little bit of a supply and SCV advantage for SilentStorm over Baal. Baal double expanding to make up for this early loss of that Nexus.
Yeah, he has to at this point, and he is also going for the Arbiters. We are not adding Science Facility though for SilentStorm, and we're adding the 2nd Armory, so that is a bit of a blunder. Yeah, I wonder what happened to his Science Facility.
It's easy to actually, because it costs 150 gas, I think, it's sometimes easy to actually tell an SCV to start it and then spend the gas somewhere else. So kind of accidentally not place it, perhaps.
Yeah, that is very possible what might have happened.
So still quite a small army for Baal, and stretched fairly thin, defending all of these bases he's taken. But SilentStorm's still playing fairly defensive for now.
Yeah, it's currently in Baal's position. I wouldn't really hate it if he even tried to get yet another base, just because he was behind from losing that early engagement.
I guess the problem though is that if you're he's going for quite fast arbiters, isn't he? And so he's already in a place where he's quite low economy, tight sort of economy. So it'd be quite challenging, perhaps, to fit another Nexus into that. I don't know.
Yeah, you can't expand tech and make units. It's you can only do 2 of these.
Pick 2. Yeah. Okay. And it's going to be tricky for Baal to sort of macro out of the gateways in the way that he's laid them out.
Yeah, I think that was exactly what happened. I was just thinking that he spawned in a different location, which is why his first 3 gateways kind of don't make sense.
Yeah. So I was saying that Baal's army seems quite spread quite thin, but it seems to be working really well for him because he's sort of put them in a place where he's got enough mass at these various different expansions and interesting points to sort of block any kind of vulture harass.
Yeah, and he, even though it looks like his army is tiny, he currently is ahead in army supply. But also, as you pointed out, his few dragoons here and there, placed at very strategic positions, are exactly what allows him to secure these 4 bases. And compared to the last game, you know how I said that the 5th base of as it didn't really make sense when he lost it. It was just because that he couldn't position his goons in a way that Bao is currently doing it, because Bao is basically doing it as the optimal thing currently to defend his 4 bases, and any excess goons would just be too few goons at one of the locations.
Right, I see. Yeah. Oh yeah, nice. He is taking this.
And he oh my god, look at that 3 o'clock base. 2 SCVs were going to establish a base.
Yeah.
But the probe already built the Nexus there, and the DT was sniping SCVs and turrets as they tried to.
And SilentStorm instantly unsieging to move down there. He's like, no, we're not allowing that to happen. That base is not going up. And I think what he's going to find is there is an Arbiter out, but the mass of the Terran army is perhaps too much in this position for
well, let's see the stasis though. If that's not the best stasis, but I think Bao can. When he trades the first Zelt, he really needs to back off and not lose that Arbiter. Losing that Arbiter is crucial currently.
Ouch. I clumped him on the Zealots. The Zealots were really keen to just stay in one little blob there and get splashed to death, unfortunately.
The Nexus is cancelled, which is the thing that you need to do in this situation, but his early attack was fine. He really needed to not lose that Arbiter.
Yeah. The other thing that's just happened is +2 has just kicked in for the Terran. So that's a decent spike, I think. And we've got a vessel on the way. In fact, a vessel out at SilentStorm's natural. SilentStorm really not being too hasty. He's just, you know, making what's the word? High percentage plays.
Yeah, he's working very well with the information that he has at any given point.
Yeah.
Like scouting that attempt for the Nexus and then immediately denying it.
I wonder what his next target is, because he is moving out again now, isn't he? Does he want to... Perhaps he wants to take the 6 o'clock bridge. Bridge? You know, ridge, in fact, I think.
Yeah, I think at this point as Terran you are... As long as you can secure a position, it doesn't really have to be necessarily one that you want to later on attack with, but as long as you can secure a position that makes sense and not lose your army at home, it is just very bad for Protoss.
Pick a position, any position. Looks like this position is definitely good enough for SilentStorm.
Yeah, this is a bit better stasis, but see, with that initial Arbiter that we lost, the difference is that right now if we had 2 stasis instead of 1, with that army that we have, we maybe stop this attack, but right now we can't.
Yeah, I've seen some of Quark's games where he has huge numbers of Arbiters, and he can basically just stasis this Terran enough so that he can never move out, because half his army's always frozen.
Yeah. And this is the really important thing about if you're going for the Arbiters, you can't really afford to lose any of the Arbiters, even after they cast stasis, because it's the energy from the Arbiters that makes them so good, such good units, or the ability to recast that stasis over and over again.
Yeah. Like a vessel in TVZ with the irradiates.
Yeah, it's just that the EMP rockets that are firing from the vessels have very good range, and the Arbiters are slow units, so Terran players have gotten so good at predicting where the Arbiter will be so that it will be hit by the EMP, which is why we're seeing that transitioning out of the Arbiter place in PvP.
Right, yeah. And one thing is, Baal has just not had a chance to set up those gateways at his other main. Perhaps not had the economy to do it, just having been under that constant pressure.
Yeah, ever since that initial engagement that took the Nexus down, Baal has been in a very hard position. And GG.
That was really solid from SilentStorm there.
Yeah, it was really well played.
I like the thought that went into the engagements, like that pick off on the 3 o'clock and that snipe on the 6 o'clock. So he was perfectly happy. I mean, when I'm playing TVP, I sort of tend to sort of panic as soon as I know the Protoss has taken a third base and just attack. But he's perfectly happy for the Protoss to sit on 3 bases or whatever, so long as he's got his base count up, and he's just yeah, nice work.
Yeah, he was doing really well with the information, as I said. That was the hand. So our next match might not be one that you love necessarily, because it's gonna be a PvZ.
Oh, PvZ. Okay, nice. I look forward to learning.
I think the matchup is really fun, and it's most of the time when you ask people what is their favorite matchup in Starcraft, they usually say either TvZ or PvZ.
Yeah.
So it's just very fun matchup.
Well, I like playing Protoss and making lots of zealots and corsairs.
I think Jaehyun initially was before switching to Protoss completely. He only used to play PvZ, just because he also enjoyed the match.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there've been a few players like that, haven't there, that will avoid the mirror and get really good at playing an alternative to it.
Yeah, Dragon was I think is one of the best examples for that.
What would he play against Protoss?
Dragon used to play Zerg. He has now committed to full Protoss.
Okay.
He was a really scary Zerg. I think a few seasons ago in BSL he took down the Vault in a PvZ.
Nice.
So his Zerg was definitely very scary, but I heard that he decided to commit fully to Protoss because it's very hard to practice if you're just picking out of mirrors. Like ladder, for example, is not a good place for you. But anyway, we've got Baal and Vermin. Vermin, kind of the new face in the cast today. We'll be going for that overpull. Very standard. And seems like Baal will be going for that Forge Expand. So almost always, if the probe that builds the pylon, usually the probe will scout, but if the probe doesn't stay there to build the gateway immediately, it's you know that it's going to be some sort of Forge or 12 Nexus.
Okay, yeah.
And what he did currently was he's tried to intercept the Overlord position if he was at the top right, and is now going to the bottom left location.
So we're going to make 2 lings. He's saving the second lava. Oh, because he didn't have enough money. No, he will just make the 1 pair of lings to start with, just to fend off the scouting probe. He now knows it's forged, so he's got no reason to make more lings unless he wants to do some damage. Yeah, he's going to drone up now, isn't he? And take the 3rd base, presumably, pretty quick.
Yeah, 2 lings sort of is the optimal that you want against a Forge opener, because you basically want two lings, one to chase the probe and one maybe to put in front of Process Natural, but he managed to pick up the scouting probe, and this is huge.
So Baal just doesn't see the gas timing, or did he see it before he died?
So Bale's probe was out of vision for the gas, but I'm not sure if it intercepted the gas earlier, because that is an extremely quick gas by Vermin, and Bale may have seen that he was going for a much faster gas before going out of vision, and now he's sending a second scouting probe. And he sort of must do this. Unfortunate for Vermin is that he couldn't intercept the probe going for that. Only now sees that there's a probe already at his third base, and I would have loved to just block the ramp with one of the drones. But he's not doing that, and well, currently doesn't see the layer yet. Sees that the gas is down, but this is not surprising at this stage of the game. Now confirms the layer, so he should be more or less happy that it's not gonna be a 973 or anything like that. Oh my god, Vermin managed to pick up the secondary scouting probe as well.
Nice.
That is so annoying.
I'm interested actually that Baal's chosen to make a goon before getting +1. In fact, he's still not making +1. He's going for the Stargate before +1 as well. So he's prioritizing other things over getting that +1 attack on the Zealots.
Oh, that goon is being a bit of a goon. But yeah, it's interesting that he is getting Stargate with that goon, because normally when you go for that goon, you skip the Stargate.
Just rely on the one goon to hold off the Mutalisk, yeah?
Well, when you're doing this build, there's two key things. Like you skip the Stargate often to. Oh, look at that base layout. It seems like Bale just likes his gateways over there.
It is, yeah. Interesting.
So maybe I was wrong. But
maybe it's just, yeah, to throw the opponent off.
This build has two ideas behind it. The first one is that you skip the Stargate and the Corsairs to save some extra gas, and the second one is that you, with that goon, you try to zone the Overlord from scouting what's in your base, so they cannot see that you're skipping the Stargate. But this isn't really what happened this game. So he sees the Spire, but he sees no second gas done right now, so he knows that it's unlikely that Vermin will be going for gas or for early mutas. But he keeps making goons, and Vermin is able to scout that, and so the build that Bale is currently going for is it's known as the goon build. It's sort of like a one-off strategy that you try to throw your opponent off guard, but it's not all in, because if you don't do damage with that attack, you're not necessarily dead, because it's an economic build. But transitioning out of the goons is really tricky, and you basically have hard time ever finding the gas to make your Templars, which are very crucial for this matchup.
Yeah, it's interesting. He is finally getting an upgrade from the Forge, but he's picked armor instead of attack. So I guess that's just an indication that he just doesn't care about Zealots this game, or at least not at this stage.
Yeah, but the other thing is that it takes a goon without +1 attack 7 shots to kill a Zergling.
Oh, okay, and 6 with.
Yes, 6 would kill it with the +1.
If he controls this carefully, I could. Ooh.
So normally with that build, you're sort of massing Hydras, and you rely on the fact that your opponent will try to get behind their SimCity to try to defend, but his goons already have range, so range is done for the goons. And range is not done for the Hydras, and he's hoping that he can utilize the big range of the goons. But currently Vermin is just not having it, and he's not falling for the bait.
Some nice Overlord pickoffs there by the Sayers in Vermin's third. I mean, Baal did lose 2 Corsairs doing it, but he picked off 3 Overlords, so he has supplied blocked Vermin for a little bit. It's going to be a matter of whether he's got enough gateway production of goons to do anything here. And it looks like he's already transitioning out of the goons into some zealots.
Yeah, you can get goons and zealots, but the thing is he did not do enough damage with his initial attack, and now Vermin just masses Hydra from here and pushes Baal, and either hard contains him or just wins the game straight away.
Yeah, because there's no storm.
The thing that you have against Mass Hydra is Storm, and the Goon build is sort of designed to hit before your opponent can get their critical mass of Hydras and pick them off earlier, which is also why you skip the Stargate.
Right, okay. Yeah, I see.
But it just seems like it's not a very optimal build, and Vermin is currently not even attacking with his full army, and even still, he's doing quite well with this attack.
Yeah.
He really needs to pick up that one cannon, and I think there is just no answer from Baal.
The reinforcements from Vermin, he's just pumping Hydras out of these hatcheries.
Yeah, the only thing that Baal currently has going for him is that the initial attack Vermin just blundered and attacked with half his army. But even then, you can see that Hydras are just able to overwhelm this.
Yeah.
He did get some cannons though.
Oh yeah.
Maybe with these cannons he can defend, but the thing is, the mass Hydras will be enough to stop any units that are trying to get out of this base, and basically that is lost cause. And he will just start adding lurkers, and as soon as he adds the lurkers and he does the lurker contain, there's gonna be very hard for Baal to break out of this.
And he did morph three lurkers at Baal's natural, but all of them got killed off by Baal, which was quite nice.
Yeah, well, he's doing the very cute micro that is actually extremely difficult to execute. Where one of his Hydras, yeah.
Yeah.
When one of his Hydras is like 10 HP or lower, only then does he morph it into a lurker.
Yeah.
But right now he decides that with 2 lurkers completed, he's gonna try to push it. Unfortunately, it does not pick up all the cannons. So if there was a follow-up lurker here without any of the cannons, that would be game. But yeah, pretty much the forces are enough to seal the deal in this case. And well done by both players. It was an interesting attempt by Baal. It's just the build was not very optimized for what he was going for.
Yeah, so instead of those 3 Corsairs, perhaps 6 more goons, kind of thing.
Yeah, instead of these 3 Corsairs, it's 6 more goons. Instead of the Stargate, it's 3 more goons as well, and you just add more gateways earlier on, and you just hit with more goons earlier.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? Because once you've whittled down the initial Hydra clump, you can just pick off the reinforcements one by one once you've got that mass.
Yeah, if you don't allow them to mass the Hydras, that's what you do. But it's easy for your opponent if they sniff it out. It's easy for them to counteract this build, which is exactly why you sort of do this like maybe once in a series or so. It's not necessarily a very standard build, but it works, and when it works, it looks broken.
Yeah. I like Goon Reaver. Mainly because I can do it off one base.
Baal actually was... so it's a bit unfortunate that we're not going to see a lot of his PVZs, but he did like to go Goon Reaver a lot. Well, Ser Reaver. He goes Ser Reaver.
Yeah.
In his PVZs. Alright, so... I updated the scoreboard, and right now we've got one more game left in this cast.
Who we got?
This is... I think it's Exit and earob. Unless we already sold their game. No, we haven't.
Yep. Yeah, we haven't seen that one.
Yeah, so this is the final one that we have. It's a
nice
PvT.
one. I do love TVP. earob's on my NSL team.
Oh, you're playing in NSL as well?
Yeah.
Nice. Maybe that's what's keeping Escalade from starting the CPL 10.
Yeah, Escalade's running my team. I have to do what Escalade says within reason. Let me just see if I can find your game. There it is. Yep. Okay.
It's never advisable to do whatever Escalade says.
So I should do whatever Escalade says. That's why I qualified it with within reason. So nothing that Escalade says. I hope he's gone. He's going to fire me from the team.
Well, there's only a few weeks left in NSL anyway.
Yeah.
All right, new TVP. What do you think? Do you know anything about Exit or Europe and their playstyles?
Yes.
All right, hit me.
Well, Exit's the brown Terran at top left, and earob's the red Protoss at bottom left. But I'm actually trying to think of what I do know about them, because I have played earob a bit. And I've played a couple of games against Exit, but I've not seen much of Exit's TVP. I think he's the kind of player who will do sort of... He's happy to do a fast expand, maybe a gasless expand into a sort of a 3-tank push, and then kind of vulture harass while expanding out and taking advantage of whatever goes on. So I think he plays fairly standard, I think, although he's very happy to mix in some cheese like we saw last week against Vermin in TVZ. earob, in my experience, has played fairly standard. I think he likes the 1-gate expand. I think he's happy to do a Nexus first sometimes, depending on the opponent, I guess. Yeah. In fact, he's queued up so many probes. He's going Nexus first.
Yeah, it looks like it definitely. He's not making the gateway right now, which indicates that.
Yeah.
But I Exit. So we're currently seeing a matchup between two very meta players, because both Exit and Europe like to just study the game and then play whatever is currently being played from the higher level scene. And Europe is just... I mean, he is such a monster in Starcraft, because he spends so much time thinking about the game and learning builds and everything, and just making sure that he's everything that he's doing is optimized. As far as the current pro gamers are concerned, it's he's definitely one of the people that have improved so much in CPL. And Exit is he qualified for one of the BSLs a few seasons ago. Or was it just the regional North America BSL? I'm not sure, but he definitely has been in like the highest scene as well, for Insane at least.
Yeah, he's one of the best Terrans, possibly the best Terran in North America, in the USA.
Yeah, from the up and coming CPLers, you mean, or?
No, I was thinking of in general. I don't know many top. I mean, the only USA Terrans I really know are, that still play are Love, Snow, and Exit. To be honest.
I mean,
sort of A-level
that's fair if you consider Gypsy Canadian.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say North American, and then I sort of realised.
Yeah. Okay. If you say Gypsy is from Canada, yeah. Okay. I agree with you.
We've gotten Forge, by the way, from earob as the follow-up to the fast expand, so he's safe. He's safe from any kind of marine aggression. So Exit's seen that, and he's just made the one marine. Not going to bother with any kind of early pressure. Just take his own expansion.
Yeah, earob kind of he saw the SCV, saw that his opponent. So he the reason why he went for the Forge is when you're going 12 Nexus and you don't want to commit to the 2 gateways and you still want to get your tech reasonably fast, you have to make the Forge. And you make the Forge if your opponent is opening if your opponent is going for the build that Exit exactly is going right now. If they're going factory expand, because if they already have the factory and they scout your 12 Nexus, they can just push it with vultures and marines and take it down. But if you make that single cannon, it just adds so much DPS that this is not possible. And Exit very aware of this situation. He just, as soon as he saw the cannon, he added his command center.
Yeah, and he's going vulture. So he made a machine shop first off, but instead of making any tanks, he's making only vultures, and he is upgrading very fast mines. So I think what he's going to do is he's going to do this mine the Protoss in and take a third quickly, sort of push, because he kind of needs a siege tank if he wants to kill that cannon. But he's not interested in that, I don't think. I think he's just interested in containing and taking another base.
Yeah, against 12 Nexus, it's very wise to go mines, because the Protoss is skipping on something if they're getting such an early Nexus and an early push to their economy. And most of the time that something is they're skipping tech. Like he will get units to be safe, and he will get everything else, but his tech is going to be delayed because his assimilator first was delayed and so on. So his observer also, and it just makes a lot of sense to add the mines and not worry about any Protoss attempts to push out.
So we get in the armory reasonably early here. And an academy. So armory, academy, 2 factories. I guess he would make the 3rd CC now if he was going for this kind of play. But maybe he'll add another couple of factories. Okay.
Yeah, I wonder if he is going for that 3rd base, or if he just plans to push with maybe 5 factories or something.
Yeah, I wonder if he also wants to take advantage of the fact he's got mines outside the Protoss base and actually set up a forward position there with some siege tanks.
Yeah, there's definitely a possibility right now. But we have 3 factories, so it's kind of like neither here nor there.
Yeah, he had an SCV positioned like it looked like it wanted to take a 4th factory as well, but he decided not to do that, perhaps because he didn't have enough gas. He's only taking his natural gas now.
Oh yeah, could be.
And because he wanted those upgrades, presumably. Oh, he's getting range and siege, so just not enough gas for that 4th factory.
And Europe is very smartly playing after that 12 Nexus, because a lot of the times what could go wrong if you go 12 Nexus, and how the Terrans will do in order to come back from it, is they will they will get map control with mines, as Exit is doing right now. And a very common follow-up is to just go for 1 factory with speed vultures and mines and vulture drop. And there's goons positioned everywhere to intercept any dropships that potentially
and also
come.
Yeah, and the positioning of the buildings at the top of his main base is just completely blocking any kind of vulture entrance into his mineral mine. And there's a photo cannon in his mineral mine as well.
Yeah, he's just so well prepared for a drop. There is not any drops coming this game, but he doesn't really know that. There is
3 gateways
ramp for Exit that is preventing his army from going down.
So earob you can see he's banking up a bit of money here, and I think that's because he wants to take a 3rd and perhaps a 4th base, isn't it? Because he's not bothered adding extra gateways yet, and he just wants to push out to secure this next base, presumably.
Oh wow! Europe, on no information whatsoever, has made a shuttle with 4 Zealots and will seek to find some damage. Exit wanted to backstab and kill some probes, but 2 cannons at the natural mineral line are...
Yeah, Exit was not expecting that extra cannon, was he?
Definitely not, but Europe can now see Exit's army and the position, but he can't really commit to anything with this shuttle.
Earob has a huge amount of money. He could just smash down heaps of gates. He's taken his 3rd Nexus. I was kind of surprised to see that there's no extra base from Exit yet, and still only 3 factories.
Yeah, definitely seems surprising. Was single Zealot coming out?
I guess he's
to go
mainly
for some mind drags.
Yeah. I guess he's mainly concerned about getting the upgrades on time is his key things that he's focusing on. For Exit,
yeah, but look, currently we've got 30 supply lead for Europe, and I feel like if he goes for an extra shuttle and doesn't lose this one very critically...
Oh no! All the Zealots.
Yeah, I felt like if he had gone for an extra shuttle and some more goons, he can definitely bust that position from there.
Yeah. I wonder if he'll go with this new Reaver. Sorry, no, the new shuttle sort of style. If he's sort of moved into that yet, or if he's just going to do the more traditional. It looks like more of the traditional sort of lots of gateways and take over the map.
I'm not sure, if I have to be honest, because he as I said earlier, he is a very meta player, so we are gonna see what comes after the Citadel. If he gets Templar Archives and the Stargate going immediately at the same time, that means that he wants to go for an Arbiter, yeah. And that seems to be the case for him.
I'm fascinated at how Exit's playing this so sort of calmly, just getting the really sort of relaxed paced 3rd base going online, but with his upgrades really well on the way.
Yeah,
Seems
that is
to be sort of a safe game.
And I wouldn't necessarily expect that, because Europe started with a 12 Nexus.
Yeah, but he's pulled ahead a little bit on the SCVs, hasn't he? He's been quite good, consistent about pumping them out of the command centers he has.
Yeah, Europe needs a few more probes to his economy. Also, seems like there's a misrally for his observatory, for his robo facility. At the 6 o'clock Nexus.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and that's not a wall. Yeah, these spawns are the 1 hex to the bottom.
Oh, no. Oh, that's massive damage. That's a good 6 or 7 probes, isn't it?
Yeah.
8. Got +1 attack for earob. +2 is getting close to finishing for Exit, so a minute and a half.
Ooh,
and he'll be on
we
about
also have
160 supply, I think.
We've got double forge for earob. Oh
Nice,
no, he's transferring probes from his second main to that 6 o'clock because he lost some and the Vulture intercepted them.
Oh.
Killed good 4 or 5 probes more there. Ooh, Exit going for a dropship that was poked by a single goon and will be scouted by another goon. Does earob pay attention though? Seems like the answer is no. He is currently busy with trying microing his dragoons to clear some mines.
These vultures may well get into the bottom right base, but I don't think I'll be able to do much with those 2 cannons there.
There is
Might
the
be
tank
Templars.
though.
Oh, of course, yeah. Oh, I like that.
And exit will set up mines to prevent. Oh, it's so close. That tank though took so much damage from the cannon.
Hero probe. Oh, nice snipes on these Templars,
Oh,
though.
Storm is not yet done.
Oh, dear. Yeah, Storm only halfway done, it looks like, eh?
We are doing the best that we can with this earob to preserve our probes, but only 2 probes survive. That was not pretty. Europe down to 45 workers. Now transferring some probes from the 6 o'clock to that second main.
I guess the problem is that he's going to be at a low probe count now during the time when he needs to really put down more gateways to start contending the mass push that's coming out soon with +2. And he's going to have to pick and choose between making units and making probes because he won't
his
be able
economy
to afford
right
to
now
do both.
is very weak. And he also wants to go for both Storm and Arbiters, which is tricky. It's doable, but it's really hard to execute.
Yeah, I like the move that X is making here, just to, again, very sort of calmly just taking the 4th base.
Yeah, I mean, he damaged the economy of Europe so much that by securing his 4th base and getting ahead economically, he will just secure his late game.
Yeah, 180 supply, +3, not that far off now for exit.
Europe seems like he will try to engage the Terran army, but that is not very advisable.
It's not the kind of the position you want with the engaging army being deeper than it is wide.
Yeah, we have 2-1 done for both players, but Terran 2-1 is just a lot better.
I'm interested to see what the Storms do though. If we have, yeah, we've got 3 High Templars in that shuttle, and I've seen DeWalt do some magic things with shuttle Templars. We'll see if earob can pull something out here. Really nice strong position being taken by Exit in the middle there. If he keeps his tanks too clumped, then a stasis could well turn the tide here, couldn't it?
An EMP on the Arbiter though.
Some great storms going down on the tanks.
Yeah, and a very nice follow-up storm as well.
Oh,
Europe will have more storms in a second, but he does not have the ground army currently to give him support while he's throwing down the storms. And he's about to lose the shuttle with the High Templars in. Oh no, things going from bad to worse for Europe here.
Yeah, we got a good 14, 15, 16 tanks still there, +3 attack. He needs zealots to kill him, but I mean, Exit's going to be. He's already reinforcing with a control group of vultures. He's going to be.
The main thing that Exit currently has going for him, well, Europe has currently going for him, is that he managed to secure the second natural. But I don't think that he's gonna have the army to hold it. And oh my god, another EMP. He's the Arbiter.
Just not quite enough energy for storms on these Templars. This one just got enough energy now, but the fight's already over.
Now, but even with the godliest storm, Exit just has too much.
So interesting style there from Exit, where he didn't really care too much which bases the Protoss took. He just killed off a bunch of probes at whichever ones were open. So not really prioritising killing off the bases as much as just keeping the probe count low while he outgrew earob, I guess.
Yeah, and it's as we have seen. Oh my god, that that wall at the 6 o'clock is still not tight.
Oh, you're kidding me. Even goons fit through. That's just not fair.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
these panels are just not very well positioned.
Okay, so earob's lost his natural. He's got 2-3 gateways at the bottom right base. So
Yeah, his main rally point is currently under siege, and he does not have enough gateways at the second location. So I think earob is just processing the defeat currently, and we'll be seeing GG very shortly.
Oh, and Templars popping out, but with no... Oh, that one's built up enough energy.
Yeah, exit currently is just too big to fail.
Yeah, so I guess Exit's got no reason necessarily to have to push up this ramp. He could very well just choose to pick off another base.
Yeah, he can just lay some mines, leave a few tanks, and push the other natural. It's definitely viable.
But I guess because he's got such a powerful army here, just sneaking one tank up there puts a whole lot of pressure on the Protoss. Nice.
Yeah, and look at his rally point right now. Only moving the army from his rally to the second main would be enough currently.
Yeah, some great pickoffs with earob's army from the bottom right, picking off some tanks, but nope, too much. earob, GG's. I'm feeling pretty confident in my prediction, Y2, about Exit taking the first place in this tournament, or in this round, this phase.
Let's look at the scoreboard again. Yeah, I think you might be onto something. Currently, Exit has gone up to 4 points, and I don't think that the games with Zoom and 440 are happening, unfortunately. Which means that Exit currently has 2 more games left for him. And
is he not lost yet?
I think he has a loss. No, he has. Yeah, you're right. He has 4 wins in 4 games.
Nice.
And
very
Azhi,
nice.
We have. I feel like I failed to update one of the games here, but Azhi, I think he's currently on 3 wins out of 3 games. So, and very crucially, the Azhi Exit game was played, and Exit took that.
Okay, yeah.
So, even if Exit needs to lose his other 2 matches currently, and Azhi needs to win everything if he wants to qualify. But yeah, your prediction is pretty solid. I'll probably bet on Exit right now, given how the scoreboard looks.
It's the Tasagi and the comsats. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's the recharging comsats. That's all. Everything. Like if they fix that, the game is perfectly balanced.
Yep. Jun's been playing Diablo 4, man. He's been all the time. I see his stream up all the time, advertised. That's why he's not playing this. He's spending every waking hour on Diablo 4. I don't know about 440.
I have seen Zoom playing some Starcraft as well, but yeah, I think just Diablo 4 was released right before I started this tournament, and he did intend initially to play Diablo 4. It's just it seems that he's enjoying the game way more than what he originally anticipated.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, well, it happens. Anyway, so this is the cast from this week. We've got only 1 week left, and then we'll be able to say who's the winner from this phase. And we've got currently who do we got streaming? We've got Crossy. Hasn't streamed in ages, but also we've got Zero and Bonnet. So I think I'm gonna rate Zero because he's streaming
nice.
Another tournament.
Yeah, Zero's doing the BSL qualifier, isn't he?
It's a Thailand qualifiers for his big event.
Nice.
Sponsored by, I think, the BSL and Esport Fund are together in this. But yeah, the qualifiers are very, very interesting. Every weekend you get like 4 or 5 hours of BSL action. It's pretty good. And with that said, I'll see you all next week for the finals to close up the phase 2 of the tournament.